My name is Casius Dean. I'm a photographer and videographer based out of Los Angeles. I was born and raised on the North Shore of Oahu, and I picked up a camera at around 14 years old. I take photos of people, and I feel like that's one of the most intimate things you can do with somebody because they're in a very, very vulnerable place by trusting you with their image. And I try to incite emotion into my photos and make people feel something when they see it. That's kind of art I make. Remembering things that you just might have not have either captured in your mind or like really held on to as hard. And I'm so grateful that I got into photography because I have my whole youth like documented, and that's really, really important, I think, because you really do live one time, and I really think that like you should be holding on to like the moments that you've and memories that you made with like the people around you. My friends. I say my friends inspire me, and like my family. I have a really, really good support group, and the people around me, like, I truly feel that they love me, so it encourages me to do better. I'm passionate about human connection. I think that's where it all stems from. That I really like to connect with people and like get to know people. And I feel like taking photos and documenting them and like their existence is where that kind of plays in my art. Oh, I love to surf. I'm not good at it at all whatsoever, but you know, throw a soft top from Costco in there. You know, I'm on that. But I also like love to hike and like all that fun stuff. And I'm also pretty lazy, but you know, we're working on that one. But I love Netflix. But yeah, that's what I like to do. Well, all of a sudden I wasn't able to go on these photo shoots that I was doing every single day, right? So I feel like a lot of artists were so reliant on meeting people in order to create things, and it really forced me to think outside of the box by being inside. I was at home in Seattle with my family, and I wasn't shooting at all whatsoever because like I didn't want to like make things worse. So I started doing FaceTime photo shoots a little bit, and I kind of got bored of that, but then I started editing old photos from like photos I kind of just like forgot about, and that was really nice, and like I had to remember a lot of things, but now I'm here, and things are looking different, but yeah. How has Black Lives Matter affected me? Well, the extreme amount of attention on the topic is very, very, very important, and I really think that this is a second coming or another coming of like civil rights and just like justice period, and it's long overdue. And I feel like the people that argue the movement, they're the problem. So I feel like educating people about their position in the world is how we're going to be able to change it. I feel like people need to be educated about like their role and like how their actions can really cause a domino effect, and to fucking love everybody. Like fuck, it's not that hard. Like the Black Lives Matter movement actually incited like a flame in me to try and do something important or feel like I was contributing in a way. So I started up a company called Cobra the Label, and every issue of clothing, I'm most likely going to be every single month, is going to be dedicated to a cause or a situation that's happening around the world to raise money or raise awareness towards that thing. And activist clothing, I feel like, doesn't look the best. So I decided to make a company that has really, really, really sick designs, and you're actually gonna want to wear like outside of marching or protesting, right? Something you can wear on the day-to-day. And 50% of the proceeds will be donated, and this issue will be donated to the Minnesota Freedom Fund and other Black Lives Matter movement organizations. So yeah, I'm really trying to do a good thing there. I think that the photography industry or the whole social media and modeling industry period is gonna be so much more diverse when it comes to ethnicities and just people from different walks of life being more accepted in the industry, because it's very pro-white, and like that's a very marketable look, and I feel like that's going to be less normalized, and people of ethnic backgrounds are going to have more opportunities to be seen. And I think that's a really, really good thing, because the more diversity we see, the more normalized people of color will become. Even though that shouldn't be something that we should be fighting for, period. But unfortunately, that's what the whole Black Lives Matter movement is about, and the Black community is fighting for. No, I want tattoos, but I don't know if I really want tattoos, because I feel like if I get one tattoo, my whole leg's gonna be fulfilled, and my whole arm, I feel like it's gonna be over, and all my money is gonna be going to tattoos. It's not camera gear. I'm gonna be even more broke, but it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I did have one of those tooth gems at one point, and that was fire, like right here, but it fell off when I was eating, and I just spit it out, and I was like, okay, I mean, that's a little like gemstone, but that's the only like body like altercation I've had is a tooth gem. I think I'm gonna get one back though. And I dye my hair a lot. Right now it's black, but I was gonna do blue. I've had pink, green. My like core color is like a blonde white color. But I think I might grow it out to get dreads or braids, but who knows how long that's gonna take. My hair grows pretty fast though, so hopefully a couple years. Yeah. All right, so my favorite song lyric. Okay, this isn't my favorite song, like, period, but Nicki Minaj's Yikes has a lyric that goes, "You're a clown, you do it for likes." And I was like, oh wow, like you just called out the whole state of California, you called out me, and I was like, wow, like if you really break it down, like the industry is so driven by validation. And it goes a lot, it's really deep, like it really is. And it's really not about art at this point. It's, for a lot of people, it's about like mass exposure or attention or the spotlight. And it's always been like that, but it's a lot more visible now and very much more prominent, I feel like, in a lot of like artist fields. And yeah, it made me really think a lot about the people like around me, and I'm like, oh wow, like yeah, like fuck. But yikes. I usually see a location that I really want to shoot at, and I'll do everything in my power to shoot there as quick as possible before other people do, and then I'll go do that. Or I'll feel really I want to restart that sentence. A lot of the times I'll actually be feeling something, and it's usually when I'm really happy or just not feeling it is when I'll be shooting. This in between neutral state is like when I'm not very inspired to do much, because either I'm on a really high where I'm like, wow, like I'm gonna create as much as I can, or I'm on a low where I'm like, wow, like I need to express the way I'm feeling. And a lot of that work I don't publish. I've done it a couple times, but that's the art that I really like keep to myself. And I think it's really important to make things for yourself. I really do, because I don't think you should be sharing everything that you create. I feel like there should be a level of privacy. My best work comes when I'm sad, because I feel like you can make happy photos really easily, or really like happy scenarios, and write really happy scripts pretty easily. But to put your emotions into an image or into words on a video, I feel like that's a lot more difficult for a lot of people. And I feel like, but a lot of people can relate to that emotion and not being able to express it. And if they can find somebody that can express that for them, I feel like that's where you find connection. Well, I'm just gonna go to high school. high school wasn't fun, and I really stuck to my camera, and the people around me just I just didn't have a good high school experience. Like I got bullied, or I just didn't really have many friends, and just like that whole situation really encouraged me to try and be do something different. I didn't want to be like them, so I did my best to do my own thing and go to California and pursue like my dreams, because I knew that if I just kept to myself and focused on myself like a lot, it actually drove me to get my GED and like in 10th grade and just hop over to California. And like luckily my parents let me do that, and they were very, very supportive. But I feel like it wasn't necessarily words, it was more actions that were the most impactful for me. Growing up in Hawaii, I didn't have a huge circle of creators around me at like all times. And being in California or like LA, as it's fucking amazing. Like you're with people that think exactly like you and are driven either just as much as you or 10 times as much as you, which really makes you like push yourself. And I love being in situations where I'm being challenged, and I can't stand to like not be like mentally stimulated. You know what I'm trying to say? So that really is making me progress rapidly. Self-validation. I had to learn how to detach myself from my Instagram account and the app completely, and know that like it's artificial. I think a lot of people know that it's artificial, but I don't think people like know that it's fake. Like it's actually fake. It's literally an app. It could get deleted tomorrow. So I think that's probably the biggest struggle, or just like not being confident enough to either talk to people I want to talk to, or not being able to see past like an illusion, and like just being able to just be here. I had to learn how to just be here and treat people like people, and like not get caught up. That was my biggest struggle. I'm better. I think I'm better now than I was maybe like in like early 2019 is when I was like just confused. Okay, so that moment when you're like shooting and then you look at the camera and you know that photo is like the best. That's what makes me excited. Like that high right there is at where like when you're editing, just being able to produce something that you're actually proud of. That's where I think I find my satisfaction in my art, is when I'm satisfied with like what I've created, or like I'm actually like, fuck, I did that, or I can actually feel proud of myself. That's what it is. Pat myself on the back, you know what I'm saying? People that don't think they're good enough. That's I think the hardest thing I see, because it's like mental, and it's really hard to get out of. And I shoot a lot of models, and it's difficult for a lot of them. And I think that mental health is really, really important. And when you're caught up in an industry that's 95% about your looks or 95% about your image, you should be really honed in on your mental health and make sure that you're stable enough to be able to take on that much stress. I don't think people realize how much that like hones in your brain and like your existence. I think that people just need more people to talk to. I don't think people talk anymore. My best work comes when I'm sad, because I feel like you can make happy photos really easily, or really like happy scenarios, and write really happy scripts pretty easily. But to put your emotions into an image or into words on a video, I feel like that's a lot more difficult for a lot of people. And I feel like, but a lot of people can relate to that emotion, and not being able to express it. And if they can find somebody that can express that for them, I feel like that's where you find connection. My camera, water, stay hydrated. I've been on some hot beaches. Water and music. Music, well, I only started doing that recently. I don't know why I wasn't doing that for years, but music while you're shooting is a game changer. Game changer. You're on the same page with the song, with the model, and it's just very like synchronized, and you guys are like, it's like a dance. So I think that my camera, obviously, and like my gear in general, water and music. Keep producing, because the fact of the matter is you're not going to be the best in a week. Like I'm shooting for the best. Like that's what I'm shooting for. And I know I have like a long way to go, but the better I got, the more I realize how far I am from that. And I think that kids that try right in the beginning and act like they're a professional is what you shouldn't be doing. And you should, I think at whatever level you're at, I feel like you should always be learning. And YouTube is what really like taught me a lot of shit just about like photography and like creative direction and like all that. I really think that people need to just humble themselves, like humble yourself and learn, because you don't know everything. It took me a while to figure that one out, but that's an important one, a very, very important one. When I felt most alive, okay, I go on a lot of hikes in Hawaii, and a lot of that is by yourself, and you really get to be with your thoughts, and you're just like in valleys and seeing waterfalls, and those moments like by myself when there's like nobody for like a 20-mile radius, and you're like looking over like a whole island, is when I feel most alive, or when I'm able to like have a whole new perspective on what I'm so used to seeing, is when I feel the most alive, because it makes you reevaluate my whole situation. Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at Casius Dean. Also on Twitter. Make sure to fucking follow your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. I know you probably heard this a million times, but it's true. Like, I started taking photos when I was 14, and I'm 18 now, and I'm really pursuing it. And you can do it. Like, it's not that hard. Like, just go do it. Like, take action, because if you're just gonna float through life, I feel like that's a lot harder than having purpose. And finding purpose is, I think, really important. So yeah, that's my final thoughts.